Today is called the Day of Reconciliation, but if we're honest, a nation can't reconcile while individuals remain divided within themselves. So today I'm calling this the Day of Self-Reconciliation, because before we heal history, before we fix systems, before we mend relationships, we must face ourselves. Reconcile with your divine purpose. You know this truth already. God knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, before your name was spoken, before your story became complicated, before life interrupted your becoming. You were not created to merely survive trauma. You were created on purpose, for purpose. Somewhere along the way, responsibility replaced calling, fear replaced faith, and you started negotiating with life instead of obeying God. Self-reconciliation begins when you admit this. You didn't lose your purpose, you postponed it. Reconcile with your inner child. There was a version of you that dreamed freely, a version of you that believed without proof, a version of you that trusted God without needing explanations. You remember that child? That child didn't stop dreaming because the dream was wrong. They stopped because disappointment taught them to be careful. But you know this, the kingdom of God responds to childlike faith, not childish thinking, childlike trust. Self-reconciliation means going back not to stay there, but to retrieve what life convinced you to abandon. Reconcile with yourself. This is the hardest one. Reconciling with the decisions you regret, the versions of you that didn't know better, the mistakes you replay when the room gets quiet. You know that God sees you completely and still calls you wonderfully made, not after you fix everything, not after you explain yourself, but now. You cannot keep asking God for peace while refusing to forgive yourself. Self-reconciliation is not denial, it is acceptance without self-condemnation. Today, reconciliation is no longer an abstract idea. It is personal, it is internal, it is necessary. Because when a person is reconciled within themselves, they stop bleeding on people who didn't cut them. They stop shrinking where God called them to stand tall. They stop surviving and start becoming. Today, choose self-reconciliation and watch how everything else begins to align. Walk boldly. Heaven is watching.